Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Dear viewers in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this episode, we are going to discuss about one parable from Surah Hud. Now this parable is about the two groups. In one group, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned a blind person, and in contrast the other person who is not blind. And here there is a person who is deaf, and then the other person who is not deaf. And the main thing which is mentioned here, can they be equal? Can they be equal? No, of course they can't be equal, because of course you are not going to employ a blind person to drive your car or to fly your planes. Of course not. In the very same way, anything which is any job which is associated, like the job of a receptionist to receive the phone calls, you can't employ a deaf person on that job. So it means that even in our eyes, according to our mentality, these two types of people are not equal. So who are these two types of people? Let us take the ayah first. That is the verse number 24 from Surah Hud, which is 11th Surah of Al-Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم مثل الفريقين كالأعمى والأصم والبصير والسميع هل يستويان مثلا أفلا تذكرون. Now the translation, these two kinds of men may be compared to the blind and deaf and those who can see and hear well. Are they equal when compared? Will ye not then take heed? Now before this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about the believers and the non-believers. This ayah is number 24. And if you go back to ayah number 18, it is speaking about those people who reject the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا أُولَٰئِكَ يُعْرَضُونَ عَلَى رَبِّهِمْ وَيَقُولُ الْأَشْهَادُ هَؤُلَاءِ الَّذِينَ كَذَبُوا عَلَى رَبِّهِمْ أَلَا لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. In just these people who reject the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are going to be presented to their Lord on the day of judgment. And there would be a lot of witnesses saying that these people, they were making false allegations against Allah. Ala la'natullahi ala al-zalimin. The curse of Allah would be on these people who have done wrong. And after that, الَّذِينَ يَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَيَبْغُونَهَا عِوَجًا وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ كَافِرُونَ. Those people who stop other, who hinder other from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The path of Allah which is straight, they want it crooked. This is their attitude in the life. And they reject any concept of al-akhirah, that they are going to be resurrected on the day of resurrection. أُولَٰئِكَ لَمْ يَكُونُوا مُعْجِزِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَمَا كَانَ لَهُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءَ يُضَاعَفُ لَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ مَا كَانُوا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ السَّمْعَ وَمَا كَانُوا يُبْصِرُونَ. These people, they can't frustrate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the land. They got no helpers beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Punishment of Allah is going to be increased for them. And مَا كَانُوا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ السَّمْعَ وَمَا كَانُوا يُبْصِرُونَ. They were not able to listen and they were not seeing. So that was the character of these rejectors of the faith. In this worldly life, yes, they got the eyes, but they did not use their eyes to see the truth. They used to have their ears, but they did not use their ears to listen to the truth, because they have shut their eyes, they have shut their ears. So this is why they are declared, the rejectors of faith, they are declared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as blind. and deaf. And in comparison, the believers, they are declared the people who got the eyes, the people who used to listen and hear. And then let me carry on with these ayat. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَضَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ. These people are the losers on the Day of Judgment. And whatever they have been allegating, whatever they have been saying a falsehood about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be lost that day. لا جرم أنهم في الآخرة هم الأخسرون. There is no doubt that they are the losers on the Day of Judgment. This group is mentioned. This is the group of non-believers. And then just one ayah about the believers. This is again the way of Al-Quran. Whenever one group is mentioned, the second group is mentioned as well. Whenever the kuffar are mentioned, believers are mentioned as well. Whenever the people of Jannah are mentioned, the people of hellfire are mentioned as well. So here comes this ayah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَأَخْبَتُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Those people who got belief, those who have done good deeds, and those who have humbled themselves to their Lord, they are the people of Jannah, the paradise, hum fiha khalidun. They are going to abide therein forever. That is the ayah, and after that comes the parable. مَثَلُ الْفَرِيقَيْنِ كَالْأَعْمَى وَالْأَصَمِّ وَالْبَصِيرِ وَالصَّمِيعِ هَلْ يَسْتَوِيَانِ مَثَلًا أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. The example of these two groups is the example of blind and deaf, and the person who can see and the person who can hear. هَلْ يَسْتَوِيَانِ مَثَلًا. Can they be equal? Can they be equal? أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Don't you take some admonition from here? And this thing has been mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many other verses. The people, they got eyes, but because they don't use these eyes to see the truth, this is why they are blind in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He has said, إِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارِ وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبَ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. It is not the eyes which become blind, that these are the hearts which are placed in the chest that become blind. And in the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. The people of Jannah and the people of hellfire, they can't be equal, because the people of Jannah, they are going to be in the paradise forever. So can you say that they would be equal with those people who would end up into the hellfire? No, they can't be equal. هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. Those people who know, can they be equal to those people who don't know? They can't be equal. And that is something which is recognized by each and every person. A person with knowledge is not equal to a person who got no knowledge at all. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, وَمَا يَسْتَوِي الْأَعْمَى وَالْبَصِيرُ وَلَا الظُّلُمَاتُ وَلَا النُّورُ وَلَا الظِّلُّ وَلَا الْحَرُورُ وَمَا يَسْتَوِي الْأَحْيَاءُ وَلَا الْأَمْوَاتُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُسْمِعُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُسْمِعٍ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. Another great ayah of Al-Quran. Not equal are the blind and the one who can see. Not equal are the darknesses and the light. They are not equal. Not equal is the shade and the place which is burning with sunlight. Not equal are the living souls and the dead people in their cemeteries. Inna Allah yusmi'u man yasha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to let a person hear what he likes. وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُسْمِعٍ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. But those people who are already in their graves, you can't let them hear anything, because they are dead. They are dead. A dead person can't listen from you, can't hear you. Here, the dead person is the non-believers. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, that a non-believer is just like a dead person. He does not want to listen to the truth. This is why he is declared as a dead person. Now let us clarify this point here, that a believer who is physically blind, that person is a lot better than a non-believer who can see, but he does not see the truth. The believer who is a blind person, he got an insight. He can see from his heart. He can distinguish between the truth and the falsehood. He got no basar, means no sight, but he got basira. Basira is the insight, because he can see from his heart. And in very same way, the person which is mentioned here, al-asam, the deaf person, that is the example of a non-believer. Though he got the ears, he got the faculty to hear, but he does not want to hear. This is why he is declared as a deaf person. Unlike a believer who is physically deaf, yes, he is physically deaf. He can't hear your voices, but he can hear the voice of Rahman. When he reads Al-Quran, he knows what he is reading. And this is why the recital of Al-Quran reaches his heart. He becomes more approachable than any other non-believers who can't be approached with the teaching of Al-Quran. So this is the example which is given here. And there is something interesting to note here. When I read this ayah, هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, the people who know, can they be equal to those people who don't know? And the other ayat which we have just read. This also shows that the modern standards of democracy, for example, where everybody, whether he is a sane person or he is not a sane person, whether he is a knowledgeable person or not a knowledgeable person, everybody is given the equal right to vote. That is the norm of the society and the norm of the democracy. And our objection to that is that in that system, you have to elect someone who is going to rule you, who is going to be your caliph, your amir. So this is why there should be some conditions attached to those people who give their vote, who give their voices for their ruler. Anyhow, we come to the end of this program. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.